Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at a shocking situation that has come out of KwaMpumuza, where it has been revealed that out of roughly 3,000 foreign nationals living in the area, only 18 are documented. Make sure you watch until the end so you can hear the sources of this news and try to verify it for yourself. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more updates like this one. Now, let's break this down because those numbers are very worrying for both residents and authorities. KwaMpumuza, which is near Pietermaritzburg in KwaZulu-Natal, has been flagged as a hotspot where thousands of undocumented foreign nationals are living. Out of an estimated 3,000 people, officials found that only 18 have proper documentation to be in South Africa. That means the overwhelming majority are undocumented, raising questions about how this was allowed to continue for so long and what it means for the community as a whole. When this news first came out, it caused a wave of concern in the community. People are asking, how can 2,982 individuals live in one place without any form of legal paperwork? Residents say it feels like government systems have completely failed them because it suggests that immigration laws are not being enforced properly. Some community members worry about safety, while others are concerned about pressure on services like schools, clinics, and housing. On the other side, organizations that advocate for migrants are warning against painting all foreign nationals with one brush. They argue that many undocumented migrants end up in these situations because of difficult circumstances back home, a lack of access to proper legal channels, and in some cases, exploitation by people who promise them papers but never deliver. So, there is a human angle to this as well. The Department of Home Affairs has been called out, with critics saying this is exactly why communities feel abandoned. They believe Home Affairs is not doing enough to monitor undocumented people, while others argue that the system itself is too slow and difficult, making it almost impossible for foreigners to get documented in the first place. Imagine standing in those long queues at Home Affairs only to be told to come back again and again. Some locals joke that if only 18 people in KwaMpumuza managed to get documented, maybe they deserve medals for patience and perseverance. Law enforcement has also stepped into the spotlight. Police have been conducting operations in the area, but residents say these raids feel like a drop in the ocean. One raid here, one arrest there, but the bigger issue remains unresolved. People want to know if there will be proper interventions, because living with such a high undocumented population creates tension and mistrust between locals and migrants. Community leaders are warning that unless the situation is handled properly, it could spark unrest. We know how quickly tensions can boil over in South Africa, especially when it comes to jobs and service delivery. Many South Africans already feel that foreigners, particularly undocumented ones, are competing for scarce resources. So, when they hear that out of 3,000 people only 18 are legal, it fuels resentment. Some are already comparing it to situations in other towns where similar patterns exist, pointing to what they see as a national crisis. But not everyone is pointing fingers only at the foreign nationals. Some say local leaders also benefit from the presence of undocumented people, especially in cheap labor markets. Whether it's farms, construction sites, or small businesses, undocumented workers are often exploited because they cannot demand fair wages or working conditions. So, some locals argue that the same leaders complaining about illegal foreigners are also quietly benefiting from their presence. That's where the conversation becomes tricky. The numbers themselves are almost unbelievable. Think about it, if you have 3,000 people in your community and only 18 are documented, that's less than 1%. It's like a school classroom where only one child has their homework and everyone else is copying. People online have been quick to joke about it, saying maybe the 18 should start a WhatsApp group and call themselves the Legal Squad. But behind the jokes lies a very serious issue. Local councillors have been pushing for stricter monitoring, saying that the situation is unfair to South Africans who follow the rules. They are calling for Home Affairs to increase its presence in the area and work hand in hand with law enforcement to ensure people are either documented or deported. They also want more collaboration with traditional leaders, because many undocumented people are renting land or properties through informal channels that authorities struggle to track. There's also the health and education aspect. Schools in KwaMpumuza are already overcrowded, and clinics are stretched thin. Residents say undocumented people are adding to this burden without contributing through taxes or legal means. On the other hand, migrant rights groups argue that migrants often take on jobs many locals don't want and that their contributions to the economy are being overlooked. This back and forth continues to divide opinions. Nationally, this report has raised eyebrows because it suggests that KwaMpumuza is just one example of what's happening in many communities across South Africa. If the ratio of undocumented to documented people is this high in other areas, it points to a much larger problem. People are asking if the system is even capable of keeping track, or if we are simply too far behind to manage it properly. For residents in KwaMpumuza, though, this is not just a political talking point. It affects their daily lives. Parents worry about crime, others complain about job competition, and some say services like water and electricity are under more pressure than ever before. Whether those complaints are entirely accurate or mixed with frustration, the reality is that people are feeling the impact of the situation. The government has promised to investigate further and put measures in place. But South Africans are becoming skeptical. They've heard these promises before, and often the action is limited or short-lived. The real test will be whether Home Affairs and law enforcement come back with consistent efforts, not just one headline operation. Before I close off, let me remind you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, so you don't miss out on these important updates. We'll keep following this and many other issues that affect our communities directly. And because we can't end on such a heavy note, here's a light joke. One person online said, if only 18 people in KwaMpumuza have documents, they should get together and open a VIP club, entrance strictly by passport or ID only. Another joke that those 18 should start charging for autographs, because clearly they are rare gems in the area. All images used in this video are for illustration purposes only. Sources of this news include Times Live, Independent Online, News 24, Eyewitness News.